right, I'm finally able to get OSB. Or, oh wow, OBS and PRPR Live to agree with each other. It just took half hour later than stream was supposed to start. But welcome everyone. I hope everyone's having a good day. I did my good deed of the day and helped a friend who needed to drive in a giant major city, and I was stressed the entire time. I hope you have not been, because that would suck. Alright, so I'm going to be playing one of my absolute favorite games of all time. Well, I can't say that about this game. I can say that about the series because, like, I'm a huge JRPG nut. All of my video games are either games to play with people, which, reminder, I need people to play with, and two, JRPGs. I'm either always alone or always in a group. There is no in between. But of that, I've always been a huge JRPG nut. Like I was just saying, Final Fantasy started with Final Fantasy 8 actually, and worked my way through all the other Final Fantasies and went back to 7 because I didn't get a PlayStation. I got a hand-me-down PlayStation, and 8 looked like a cool number. I like the people on that picture. Let's start with that game. So I started with that game, played through so many different JRPGs. So Final Fantasy, I've played through all of the Tales games. Love them to death. I've played a few Yeast games. Those are always fun. Oh god, I'm trying to think of more series. Eternal Sonata was a great one. Just if it's the Persona series, oh my god, I love that series. That being said, I'm a huge lore nut, and I absolutely positively go nuts for games that like let you live through the lore. So the fact that the Trail series does that, blew my mind. Full in love. Could not handle myself anymore. And I found it through the sale that happened for the Trails of Cold Steel back when they released 4 in English on the PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5 consoles. I played through 1 through 3 of Cold Steel and realized, oh, this is the fucking middle of the game. Like, there is so much more that has happened before this. OMG. And then instead of having to go, oh, lore, reading 1,000 panels of blank text on books, I realized that all of the lore that really mattered was in previous games, and they were on Steam, and I have them now, and I am like dying, chomping at the bit to get these. You don't realize how excited I am. Ah! So, as I let it boot up and you can now hear the music, let's get going into an amazing game series. And I'm using a stream controller because I currently like using controllers. Why did the screen go black? Mr. Screen? Mr. Screen? Okay. I'm fine with this, Mr. Screen. If you're just going to instantly just throw me into the game, fine. Okay. Oh, Daddy's really late. I even got a message from the guild saying he'd be home today, too. And Shlera's... Or Shara? I'm gonna go Shara. and Shara's gone traveling around the kingdom on some kind of training. I'm so bored. Maybe I'll just practice with my staff a bit before dinner. Hey, I'm home. Daddy! Sorry to keep you waiting, Estelle. Did you take good care of the house while I was away? Of course I did. Did you run into any trouble, Daddy? You didn't get hurt fighting bad monsters, did you? Nope. I'm fit as a fiddle. That reminds me, though. I brought you a present. Really? What kind of present? A new fishing pole? Sneakers? Something for my training? Maybe I raised you wrong, Estelle. Aren't little girls supposed to be into, like, clothes and jewelry? I like pretty clothes, but they get dirty. And jewelry breaks when I go play outside with it on. Anyway, Daddy, what's with the big blanket? Is that my present? Oh, you're a sharp one. Now, why don't you come have a closer look? What? Well, here you are. Quite a handsome boy, don't you think? What? Why is my present a boy? Don't make such a fuss, or you'll wake him up. Wake him up? You mean he's still alive? Looks kind of dead to me, if you ask me. I've treated his wounds, so he should be in stable condition. In the meantime, however, we'll need to let him rest. I'll put him to bed, so if you wouldn't mind heating a kettle of water on the stove, I'd appreciate it. Okay. Excuse me, my cactus decided of all of the times, now is the time to shred cardboard. When I'm doing a voiceover. Is this an opinion, Noodles? That you need to be in a box while I voice over? That's just rude, you know? Full rude. I can't even with this cat. Like, full rude. No other way. Right. Okay. He sure sounds... he sure sleeps soundly. And he almost looks the same age as me. This is the first time I've seen black hair like that, too. He certainly does have a nice head of dark hair. And a pair of amber eyes to go with it. That's nice and all. But how about you come clean and fess up? Fess up? Yeah. Who is this kid anyway? And why is he hurt? And why did you bring him to our house? And is he an illegitimate child or something like that? Did you betray Mommy? Where have you been picking up these kinds of words? No doubt from Shelizard, I assume. Yep, that's right. For heaven's sake, that girl is going to get me in trouble one of these days with all of her nonsense. Actually, I just met up with this boy while out on business not a while. I don't even know his name. You mean bracer business? Something like that. Oh, look. Huh? He's waking up. Wow, his eyes really are the color of amber. Where am I? You're awake now. So you're awake now, are you? Welcome to my humble home. You'll be safe here, so please just try and rest. What are you trying to pull? Huh? You must be out of your mind. Why? Why didn't you just leave me there to die? Why? Now that's a question I don't know how to answer. Does things just work out that way work for you? Don't toy with me, Caius Bright. Do you have any idea what you're getting yourself involved in? Hey! You are shouting a lot for someone who's supposed to be hurt. Running your mouth like that is just going to make it take longer for your body to heal. And just who are you supposed to be?
I'm Estelle. Estelle Bright.
She's my daughter. And don't you remember me telling you I have a daughter your age? Now that you mention it.
Wait a minute. Don't try and change the subject.
Ow!
Quit yelling!
Alright already. But you jumping on me is not going to make me heal any faster either.
I don't hear you yelling again, do I?
Look, jumping on me is just going to make things worse.
Do I hear Y-E-L-L-I-N-G?
Never mind. Just forget it. Word of advice. As a word of advice, it would be nice not to argue with Estelle while you're in this house. Even I wouldn't stand a chance if I made her mad enough. Yeah, I see that.
By the way, aren't you forgetting something?
Huh?
Your name. You know, the thing people call you. I told you mine already, so don't you think it would be unfair and impolite not to tell me yours?
It seems like the logical thing to do if you ask me. Trying to hide it now will only serve to your detriment. Fine. My name is...
Well, just fade to black now, why won't you?
Don't we love a cutscene? Bit of basic info for this game is it came out in 2004, which you have to admit, this looks pretty good for a 2004 game. If I remember correctly, I do believe it originally released for Windows in Japan and portable systems. Later coming to like English consoles and so in 2014 and into my sites recently. But they also came to in like 2012 is when it actually got released on like PlayStation. So it's been a long time coming for this game, but it still looks so good. Also, I'm not a professional actor, so if I get my voices mixed up, I apologize. I'm trying my best. Sweet tea to help with the voiceover. Like, if I had this on a PlayStation Portable right now, I would be like, gas. Like, this is some good fucking graphics for PSP. Now, I do know a little bit about these characters because, like I said, I did play Trails of Cold Steel, and they do pop up here and there as references. So I do know a bit of the personality types, so I'm going to try and play them off. So Estelle's character personality type is kind of that Genki girl. So that, like, happy, high energy. So I'm going to try and play her off that way. Ugh, it's so bright in here. Ugh. Ugh. I've slept like a rock. It must mean it's Dad's turn to cook this morning. I wonder if that means Joshua's still in bed. I guess that's a no. Well, I guess I better get myself ready then too. Nice, Joshua. Bravo. Good morning, Estelle. I hope I didn't wake you. Nah, I was already up when I heard you start to play. I can't believe how awake you are, though. Even roosters still have bags under their eyes. Not that I mind. With that siren song of yours gently lulling this beautiful woman from her slumber. What do you mean, woman? We're the same age, and I'm hardly a man. How wrong you are, Joshua. We may be the same age, but I am clearly the woman of the house. And that makes you something of like my loyal follower. Don't you agree? Yeah, how fortunate for you. You could at least try to sound a tiny bit sincere. It really is a nice tune, though. Cheerful yet somehow wistful. I like your other songs too, of course, but this one's my favorite. What's it called again? The Whereabouts of Light. That's right. That's right, The Whereabouts of Light. I wish I could play the harmonica just like Joshua. Sadly, it's a lot harder than it looks. Compared to what it takes to use a staff, I think the harmonica is much easier. It really is just a matter of concentration. You're probably right. I guess my problem is that if I don't do something that uses my whole body, I start feeling drowsy. Okay, playing the harmonica is fine and all, but how about we get some exercise too? All of your hobbies are just sitting around kind of stuff, like reading or music. No girl's gonna be impressed with just that. Well, excuse me for being so unpopular with the ladies. Although, I feel like I should be the one lecturing you about your hobbies. I mean, what kind of boy wants a girl who fishes, collects bugs, has a fetish for sports shoes? That's enough talk about my hobbies for now. And for your information, I graduated from bug collecting a long time ago. Really? I believe that when I stopped finding beetles in the hallway. Hey, Stell, Joshua. Morning, Dad. Good morning, Dad. Is breakfast ready? It's ready and waiting. Why don't both of you hurry on down before it gets cold? All right. I'm on my way. Thanks for the grub, Dad. Boy, am I stuffed. Are you eating or inhaling, Estelle? Like people say, kids who eat and sleep a lot grow a lot. Didn't you just call yourself the woman of the house? Didn't you just call yourself the adult? You can't be both! That's creepy! Well, don't forget to eat. Well, make sure you get enough to eat. But don't forget to pour that energy into your work, too. That reminds me, you two are finishing up your training at the guild today, aren't you? That's right. There'll be a review of everything we've learned up to this point.
And once we're finished, we'll be bracers just like you, Dad. That means I'm not going to let you treat me like a little kid anymore either.
You still lack understanding, Estelle. You can only become a junior bracer in the beginning, or other words, a trainee. If you want to be treated like an adult, then you should work extra hard in your training to become a full-fledged bracer.
Well, I'm not afraid of a little hard work. Just you watch. Just watch and see what I'm capable of, Dad. I'll be so successful that it won't be long before I pass you too.
That's the spirit. Let's see what you're made of then, shall we? Let's not start a rivalry here, you two. And Estelle, keep your focus on the task at hand. We have a test later on today, remember?
Ah! Wait. What test?
Please don't tell me you forgot about the test, Estelle. You know, the one that checks whether or not we've mastered the skills we've been learning and training. Don't you remember Shara saying that if we failed, we'd be stuck with a ton of extra homework?
Crap! I totally forgot. Now that you mention it, I guess I kind of remember her saying something like that. Don't sweat it. I'm sure we'll manage somehow or other.
Honestly, I don't know how you've survived this long, Estelle. Your brain is like a sieve. Papa is sad. How could any child of mine end up with such a careless, over-optimistic personality?
Ha! You're the one who raised me, so I definitely got it from you.
I swear, the two of you act so much alike, but whatever. We should probably head over to the guild soon, so. Shlera's going to be waiting for us. Shara.
I will say that name successfully one day. Sounds like a plan.
You know how crazy scary she gets when someone keeps her waiting.
Oh, before I forget, it's my turn to cook dinner tonight. Is there anything in particular you'd like to eat, Dad? Any requests?
Something I'd like to eat. How about Rune-style scalloped fish in a balsamic vinegar sauce?
What's that?
I think that's a little more than Estelle's cooking skills can handle. Or our stomachs. You're right. I just wanted to see what kind of reaction I could get. Well, I'll just have the usual fried fish and omelet. No need for anything fancy, but do try to make it edible.
How rude! But I can't actually say he's wrong.
Actually, I do have one favor to ask before you head out. I'd like you to pick up a copy of the Liberal News from the General Goods Store. They're supposed to be getting the latest edition in today.
Got it. One copy of the Liberal News from the General Goods Store.
And if there's any money left over, you can use it as your allowance. However, that means no wasteful spending.
Alright, thanks, Dad!
Okay, we're heading out now. See you later, Dad. Work hard. Give Sherazade my regards.
I can say the full name, Sherazade. But when it's just Shara, I mess up on that bleh in the sh sound.
Sherazade. Shara.
Got it. Good. Whew. Words. I hate words as being audio dyslexic. It's not fun.
This is training area.
Rotate now. Ta-da! I mean, like, these are... I love the character designs, honestly. I think it's... Like, she is just pretty. And you can tell a lot about her personality from her design. It's very simple, very straightforward, but everything serves a purpose. The gloves, the basically bib belt, the shorts underneath the skirt, like everything it has its place and its purpose. It's really good character design. And then Joshua here, like, it's simple, but it stands out. He's a straightforward character. He's very much that calm, cool, collected character. It really plays really well into itself that way. And the difference between the chibi spriting and the actual, like, character art, it matches really well. Oh, looks like we made in good time. Not too early or too late either. We just barely graduated from Sunday school. I never dreamed we'd have to study so hard to become bracers. Well, you're in luck. Today's our last day of training. Truth be told, you're the one who signed up to be a bracer in the first place, so I don't know why you expect to get away with any less effort. Yeah, I guess I did. Alright then, let's go get it. Let's get to it and let's make it through this last hazing of Shara. Shara! You look ready to me. Let's go meet with Shara at the Bracers Guild. Over there, then. Alright. That is the symbol for the general goods store. I'm supposed to pick up a paper. Good morning, Mr. Renan. Hello there, Stell. Joshua. You're up rather early today. Did you come to buy a new pair of shoes? Now that you mention it, are there any new ones in stock? You know, like the newest Stragas? You're unbelievable. You've actually already forgotten why we came in here to begin with. We're not here to shop. We're supposed to be buying a copy of the Liberal News for your dad, right? Of course! You've always been a big collector of those shoes, haven't you, Estelle? I'm afraid the new Stragas aren't out yet. If you're after the latest issue of the Liberal News, though, I should have them in around noon. Noon, huh? That's right around the middle of our training at the Giller House. Let's stop by again after our training is over. Sure, I'll be waiting for you. Alright, and that is the guild. There you are. There you two are. Good morning, Estelle. Good morning, Joshua. Good morning, Ina. Good morning. Is Shara here already? Yes, she's waiting for you upstairs. Once you're finished today's training, you'll finally be recognized as members of the Bracers Guild. Good luck to you, both of you. Thanks! We'll do our best. The star and the hangman's man, the hermit and the magician, and last of all, inversion through the wheel of fortune. This is a difficult combination. How should I interpret this? Good morning, Shara. Well, if it isn't Estelle and Joshua, this is a rare occasion for both of you to show up so early. Well, since it's the last day of training, I figured, why not? I'm ready to get the show on the road and become a bracer myself.
I'll give you credit for your enthusiasm. But I'm going to work you hard today in every way I can think of to make sure that high-spirited attitude of yours holds up. I hope you're ready.
I can feel the enthusiasm dropping already.
Quiet, you. Every time I teach you something, you somehow manage to forget it. This training is my way of trying to keep some of that information in that head instead of letting it dribble out your ears like it usually does.
Ah, Joshua! Cher's picking on me.
Don't worry, Cher. While Estelle may hate studying and rarely does her homework, acts rashly, is overly naive, and has a tendency to stick her nose in everything. Her instincts are sharp, and I'm sure she'll pick up on how to use an orbit with some practice. Eventually. Probably. I guess there's not much I can do except hope for the best.
Hold on a sec, Joshua. Somehow I get the feeling that you weren't standing up for me.
Well, that's odd. I'm positive I described all your best traits accurately.
Whatever. By the way, Sheriff, what were you trying to predict with your tarot cards? Your face was really intent.
Oh, this? I was just trying to get a vague reading of what might happen in the near future. Unfortunately, I don't seem to have the right mindset to interpret the cards correctly.
You couldn't read the cards?
Now that's surprising to hear.
Actually,
it's more profound. The more profound the meaning of the cards, the more difficult they become to interpret. But that's not important now. I think it's time you start your final training. I'll give you a brief rundown of all the information I've covered in your previous training. This is the minimal level of knowledge that bracers should have in order to function effectively. And Estelle, make sure you pay especially close attention to what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
What would you like to know? Orbits are mechanical devices which operate by using what is known as orbital energy.
aka think the mana of this world.
The variety of effects can be produced depending on what the structure and type of quartz and process septum installed.
So basically think the magic of this world is magitech. So in order to use what is your equivalent of spells, you have to have a certain amount of mana and MP saved up, and you need to have a specific quartz installed into your orbital gear. Quartz is, think of it as that's how you're going to figure out your skill system. The more you have of a different element of quartz, the stronger of skills in that element you will get, and some skills require a mixture of elements. Like, there is your 4 basic ones of fire, water, earth, and air, but there's also time, space, and mirage, which are viewed as higher elements.
Although it's only been about 50 years since their invention, these devices play an integral role in all facets of life, from lights, heaters, and everyday products, weapons, magic, and even airships. So basically, the Industrial Revolution for this world has happened because of this orbital technology. So, by using a fire quartz and fire sepith, which is like, think like quartz fragments that can be mined, you can actually use fire magic to run a heater. You can use wind magic or space magic to lift an airship, so on and so forth. In connection, the technology reform is commonly known as the orbital revolution. Bracers are investigative and combat specialists who work to protect civilians and maintain the stability of their respective regions.
Think of it as your adventurers guild,
But instead of being tied directly to the government of whichever location they are in, they are purely designed for the protection of the people, meaning that they can even sometimes overset individual governments if it is in the protection of the people of that place. They aid the community in various ways, such as exterminating monsters, preventing crime, finding lost items, and escorting people and goods. The Bracers Guild, which has established branches across the continent, manages the affairs of the Bracers in each region. So the Trails of the Sky game is set in the Liberal Kingdom, which each one of the different Trails games, well, at least franchise chunks, are designed to be in a different one of the kingdoms. The Kingdom of Liberal, which sits in the western half of the Zamorian continent, which is the main continent of the area, and abounds with nature and deep-rooted traditions. Libero is proud to be one of the leading producers of septum on the continent. Septum is like the gems that power quartz. Continent, and is known for its high level of technology used to develop orbits. Orbit technology has been a key pillar to support Libero in protecting its independence, as it has contended with neighboring nations. 10 years ago, when Libero was invaded by the Iberian Empire, it was the use of orbital-powered airships that saved the kingdom from defeat. Take note of the Ebronian Empire, or the Erebonian Empire. That is the place in which the Trails of Cold Steel game is set. There's also the Trails to Azure and Trails to Zero, Trails to Black, which is set in the city-state of Crossbell. And then there is the Trails of Revelry, which, if I remember correctly, is set in one of the other countries. I can't remember off the top of my head. Consequently, even now, our relationship with the Empire is somewhat sensitive, but thanks to the Queen's political finesse, Libero enjoys peace. Let's see, since we've got a mountain of stuff to do today, I'll let you off the hook this time with a condensed review. I'm going to speed things up now and move on to the practical portion of your training.
Shara? How is today's practical training any different from the training we've done before?
Since it's practical, it means you'll be experiencing things firsthand. Therefore, I'm going to have the both of you run through everything as if it was a real bracer job.
So what you're saying is, there won't be any studying at a desk involved?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. This time you'll have to go out and make a physical effort to accomplish your task. I'll make sure you have you work up a sweat, so I hope you're ready.
Yes! That's exactly what the doctor ordered. I didn't know know what I was going to do if I had to sit another day with my tush parked at a desk. I guess I got all worried for nothing.
Well, certainly all bright and cheerful, Estelle. Let's just hope the smile on your face lasts till the end of today's training. Okay, let's get cracking on your first objective, shall we?
Let's have at it!
Your first objective will be to confirm the details of the job you will be performing. But before that, there is something we need to give both of you. I know. Are you ready?
Yes, they are.
Alright, you two. Go and get one for each of yourselves. These are very important, so make sure not to lose them. Bracer notebooks serve as the official way for you to record the status of your current jobs. Also, anything you hear, or anything you might find and where, all these kinds of trivial things might often become clues. No matter how insignificant something may seem, always write it down. Understood.
Crap. This sounds like it's going to be a pain.
Oh? Please tell me, was it my ears playing tricks on me? Because I swear I only got one response.
I'm sure there were two.
Keeping it events is an important duty for all bracers. So get with the program and stop trying to make this out to be more than it really is, Estelle.
Okay, I got it.
Make sure you do. Alright then, let's begin. Look over at the door. You can see that there's a bulletin board standing there. First, I want you to go and check the job description posted there. How to interact with things like a normal person. Is there a way to switch characters? And training. Very good. It looks like you're able to see what was posted without any trouble. Checking the bulletin board is one of the most basic functions a bracer performs on their job. Checking regularly to see whether or not there's an urgent task that needs immediate attention is also an important duty for bracers.
Man, all this talk about duty is starting to cramp my style.
Sure, there are a lot of rules to follow, but there's an equal level of responsibility in the jobs themselves. I think being a bracer calls for much more than just someone with a half-hearted attitude.
I guess you're right. I'll just have to be more motivated. What the fuck am I supposed to be reading here? His? I'm gonna go with is.
Is that so? Had a change of heart, have you?
You betcha.
Well, before all that motivation sneaks off somewhere, let's get to work on your next task. What will you be doing this time? You'll be heading across the street to Mr. Melder's Orbital Factory and learning about how to use its services. He's graciously taken time out of his work schedule to explain things, so make sure you're on your best behavior.
Okay.
Here's where you'll learn how to use an Orbital Factory's services. At an Orbital Factory, you can modify these orbits and synthesize support quartz in order to use orbital arts. Arts have a wide range of effects, and if mastered can be helpful. This is what I was telling you earlier about how the arts are affected based on what quartz you have. Bracer's business is a pretty risky occupation, so the guild has a long-standing relationship with these orbital factories. Anyway, this is about as much as I can explain. I'll leave the rest of the technical details to the expert. So, Mr. Melders, would you, if you wouldn't mind, taking over from here? No problem. Leave everything to me. So, what would you like to know about? Orbits are technical devices which exhibit an array of effects through the installation of various types of quartz. By definition, that means that lights, airship, engines, and so on are all types of orbits. However, the ones we will be discussing today are battle orbits, which enhance the user's physical abilities and make it possible to use magic. Since each orbit is adjusted to match the owner's personal aptitude, the structures for these devices also differ for each owner. So, aka, each character will have a different orbit kit based around their personality, meaning that they are more in tune with certain quartz, meaning that they are required to have certain quartz in certain slots. Simply put, the shape of the fixed elemental slot and lines that connect them vary. At any rate, that's a layman's explanation. In order to install quartz, you first must have an open slot. By default, the central slot is open, but the other slots must be open at an open orbital factory like this, and take a fair amount of set. So there's two basically money sources. There is Mira, which is your gold coins. That's you buy items with this. And then there is Sepith. Sepith? It's a sound. Sepith? Seraph? Words. Sepith is what you will trade in for items and things of that nature, because it is It's a loot drop item off of all monsters. All monsters are going to drop Sepith, and depending on their type, their personality, and things of that nature, they will then also drop different amounts or types of Sepith. And you'll need those to either turn them into quartz, or you'll need them to open slots to put more quartz into your items, and sometimes you'll need to trade those Sepith for, if you're running low in gold, you can trade them for cash, you can trade them for items through certain trade shops. You can also use them to power up and trade with certain weapons. If I remember correctly, that might be only in the later games, but it might be in this game as well. EP, which is used for magic, will also see a max increase according to the number of open slots. I recommend opening them all as soon as possible. So what is it you would like to know about? So, simply put, orbital arts are magic which can be discharged exclusively through the use of metal orbits. In other words, a number of particular effects can be produced by using the orbital energy stored within these mechanical devices. Since orbital arts can be a mouthful, they are almost universally referred to as arts. Probably ought to have been called that from the get-go. There are several types of arts, but in order to be able to use them, their corresponding quartz must be first synthesized at an orbital factory. Orbments are also set up so that once a particular quartz is installed into a slot, the owner will be able to use said arts. The type of arts can be used, and the changes depend on the elemental value and combination of said quartz. Basically, if you want to use water arts, all you have to do is install quartz with water elemental value. In reality, ornaments are much more complex than what I've described, but I think this information should suffice for now. Now, what would you like to know? So basically, like I was saying before, if you want to use water magic, put in water quartz. If you want to, some quartz have multiple values, and some spells require multiple values. So you really have to plug and play to build your character. Also, certain quartz will also buff stats. Quartz are circuits made from Sepith. Quartz have a vast number of effects and raise the owner's abilities, while simultaneously making it possible for them to use arts. However, you will not be able to harness any of those effects until quartz has been installed into a slot. However, there are also fixed slots which only a certain type of elemental quartz can be installed. That being the case, when you synthesize a new quartz, be sure to check the ornament and decide whether you're going to be inside ahead of time. So, what is it you would like to know about? Sepith are fractions of septium, which are dropped by monsters. They are divided into 7 types: brown, which is earth, blue, which is water, red, which is fire, green, which is wind, time, which is black, space, which is gold, and mirage, which is silver. One of the best characters to spam in Trails of Cold Steel 1 has her entire kit designed around using gold space Sepith. Legitimately, her ability spam is a godsend for most fights and makes them easy peasy, like weak sauce. So, like, those higher ones have some really interesting things. Like, time is going to affect how fast you move in combat and how slow you can make enemies move in combat. Mirage is pretty much like your magic damage dealing that has like special effects on it. And gold's going to be your buffs. Each one of the elements, so earth, water, fire, and wind, have a singular buff, where space is going to have your like multi-buffs. So fire is going to increase damage for your physical attacks. Water is going to raise, if I remember correctly, it's going to raise your art defense. Green is going to move your evasion and movement speed. Earth is going to raise your physical defense. And if I remember correctly, there's actually Mirage has the buff for it's, as I do my ADHD tacky thinking taps, it's going to be your arts attack, so it's going to make your magic do more. I think actually Gold's, if I'm remembering correctly, besides having your multi-buffs, has your damage reduction buffs on them. So removing, reduce damage from X, Y, and Z, from physical attacks, from your arts, from a thing called Crass, which we'll learn later. Sepith can be exchanged for Mirror almost anywhere, but at the Orbital Factory you can use a synthesized quartz and to open orbment slots, which are used to install synthesized quartz. So what would you like to know about? And that's all we get from him. Looks like Mr. Mellows has answered all your questions. If there's nothing else, then let's have you try and use the services here. For that, you're going to need some Sepith. With that amount, you should be able to synthesize a few quartz. Now, I want you to try by making an elemental quartz that will work with each of your particular armaments. In your case, Estelle, any elemental quartz will be fine. But for you, Josh, it has to be time elemental quartz. Normally, at a shop, you would be able to exchange something for Mira, but for this training, you will not be able to use this service. So I'm going to make a action quartz because that is going to increase my character speed by 10%, and it's going to give time elemental stuff, which is going to be chrono up, chrono down. And for her, I'm going to get HP up 1. Honestly, I think I'm just going to get one of each too, because they are useful. And also, I don't know how fast this game gives out quartz, because you can find some quartz in chests in dungeons. So Estelle, you are going to get... So go to menu, orbiment. Get an action quartz. As you can see, it increases the speed. And I got Clock Up and Soul Blur. Soul Blur is going to be a damage attack, and Clock Up, I do believe, is going to be going to give you HP up 1. So that's going to give you Aqua Bleed, which is a water damage, and Tear, which is going to be your first healing spell. I just realized I just mashed through that without reading. Oh, I'm so sorry, Sherilazad. If you'd like to use more powerful arts, check out the arts and quartz charts in your bracer's notebook to find something that works for you. Alright, our training is almost finished. Last of all, I'm going to have one of you open a new slot in your ornaments. The more slots you have available to you, the broader range of choices you have. Since EP, which is consumed when using arts, can have its max value affected by opening slots, it'd be a good idea to open them all early on. I want you to use this subject and open a slot on each of your ornaments. Go ahead and decide which one you're going to do. So I'm going to open on this one. Ah! So as you can see, adding defense quartz will increase your defense, but it's an earth quartz, so it'll give me a stone hammer. I can increase my attack at the cost of and get fire damage, or I can get an air spell and increase my agility, which agility is actually what controls your evasion. In later games, it becomes its own separate stat. But I'm going to go and attack one because I want her to do more physical damage than I want her to do anything else. see you managed to open one of your ornament slots, Estelle. Since your central slot is not limited to a particular element, you are free to install any type of quartz you like. This concludes your training here at the Orbital Factory. Now it's time to move on to what you've both been waiting for, the qualification test.
Pardon me, did you just say test?
You can't honestly tell me that you forgot about the test again, can you? Didn't I remind you of this, remind you just this morning?
Now that you mention it, I vaguely remember some sort of talk along those lines at the breakfast table.
Sometimes I fear for the future of the Bracers Guild and humanity. Oh well, no sense in worrying about that now. Let's head over to the testing area.
You mean like now? I don't know if I'm ready for...
How about a little less yapping and a little more walking?
Ah! Joshua, help me!
Mr. Melders, Freddy, thank you for all your help. Don't mention it, and good luck with that test of yours.
We'll be rooting for you. I'm gonna remember that you left me high and dry like this, Joshua!
All your training has finally come down to this. Your qualification test will begin here. I expect to see what you both use what you've learned up to this point. Understood. What's wrong, Estelle?
Shara?
What now?
I was kind of wondering, but is there not going to be a paper test or something?
Did Cassius drop you on your head as a child or something? You just read what it said on the bulletin board not that long ago, right?
Yeah, and
I even made you jot down what you read in your bracer notebook, unless you forgot that too. I'm pretty sure the job listing mentioned searching for and retrieving an item from the sewers. Ringing any bells yet?
What a relief! Oh, divine Adios.
Adios is the, Idos? I like saying adios because it's like, reminds me of goodbye. Idios, is the goddess of this game's realm and world, so if you see them using that word, it is purely because that is the name of their goddess that is the main religion worshipped by most people. Anything else is a spoiler.
I give thanks to thee for thy infinite grace in bestowing upon us such a wonderful gift as sewers.
So what you're really saying is that you thought it was a paper test. No wonder you're acting all crazy back at the Orbital Factory.
I can already feel the nostalgia. All those horrible days stuck in a classroom are starting to feel like grand memories indeed.
I'm really starting to wonder if we'll be able to even graduate at all.
What's wrong with you? Why do you have to go and say something like that when I'm trying to reminisce about positive things?
Alright, that's enough jabbering, you two. This is supposed to be a test, so how about both of you try to at least look a little anxious? Just so you know, if you do happen to flunk the test, you don't even want to imagine the kind of homework I have in store for the both of you.
We'll be fine. Just tell us what you want us to do and let us loose.
Well, if you're so confident, then how about proving that you're not just blowing hot air with the results of your tests? Anyways, both of you saw the bulletin board. This test will be a search conducted in the Roland sewers. Your objective is to retrieve the contents of a chest which have been placed somewhere in that area. The layout of the sewers is extremely simple, so you don't need to worry about getting lost either. However, there are real, living, breathing monsters down there. So if you get careless and let your guard down, and let down your guard, you will be sorry. Also, let me give you this before I forget. Tear Balm.
This is your healing potion.
The spells also kind of have a Final Fantasy-esque grow. So like Tear, Tira, Tyrol, that sort of thing. So, a lot of the spells have like some progression in that kind of way. At least when it comes to the healing spells and healing items. Your actual spells, it's not fire, Firaga. There's like Firebolt, Inferno, Water Drop, Mirage Tower. Things that, like, really cool fucking like names. It's called a monster guide, and it's used to record information about monsters and other opponents you meet. Whenever you figure out an enemy's attributes, you should make an immediate note of it in there. Sounds pretty straightforward to me. He who controls the flow of information controls the tide of battle, right? Exactly what I'm saying. You've got a really good head on your shoulders, Joshua.
That's some pretty useful advice. Thanks for the help, Shara.
We'll put it to good use.
Alrighty then, let's get pumped and knock out this test.
Let's. Don't forget though, this is an exam, so we should make sure we treat it as such.
Whee! Healy item.
There appears to be a recovery point set up there. Let's use it for HP or EP, which is going to be your...
EP is basically your mana. Sounds like a plan to me. Monster, 12 o'clock.
Be careful not to let them take advantage of your blind side. Got it. Basically, they're talking about how monsters will appear on the field. And different interactions with monsters will cause different effects. So there's things like back attacks, surprise attacks, things of that nature. And now here we get into the meat of the combat. So, as it's explaining here, it's going to be a turn-based RPG. Your turn order bar, your actions you can take. Right now, we're just doing minor choices. So you just go through your turn order and attack, or choose whatever options you do. This also uses real time as well, or not real time, but like a time system. So certain abilities only take one turn. Some abilities require a few turns to go off. You'll see that when we get to the, most likely the magic tutorial that's going to happen in these sewers. And that's what I was saying, like, these creatures drop this type of sepet. And they drop juicy bones. Those items can be crafted into other items. And for upgraded weapons, you're going to need that to be kind of picky about them. Depending on the enemy. Or, here comes some more of them! Depending on the enemy, some physical attacks may be ineffective. Let's use our arts, not physical attacks.
Okay!
Arts are effective, blah blah blah. It's basically your basic thing of some creatures are better against magic, some people are better against physical attack. Some creatures are just tanks. Use abilities to stop X effect. It's tactical warfare. It's teaching you the basics of the combat. I feel like I'm mansplaining. Or mama-splaining. Whatever. Boobas. Mama-splaining. But I know a few people that have never played these style of games before, so I'd rather explain it well now than be like, what the fuck's going on? How are you doing this? Why is it doing that? Plus, also, I'm supposed to be filling time here. Alright, so here's what I was saying about how it takes time. You notice how I'm not immediately going to cast that spell. I'm channeling it, and then I have a new ability that pops up on there that has an A next to it. That means I'm channeling an art, and my art will be cast on that turn when it happens. And because these are the first two tutorial ones, they're not really going to attack, they're just going to show you how it works. Oh yeah. Also, their monsters are going to drop food. Or food items. You will need those food items if you want to complete the basically food dictionary they have. Oh. I keep doing the auto press. Ah! I am a terrible narrator. Since the crafts have... Let's use the crafts we've been taught. Since crafts have other effects besides just dealing out damage, they're worth a shot. Roger that! So this is your third energy source. So you have your HP, for your 3 bars, you have your HP bar, you have your EP bar, which is your magic bar, and then you have your CP bar, which is basically every time you take a hit, every time you deal a hit, every time you have an ability that increases your CP, you are going to be able to build up that bar. It builds up to a max of 200. And then you can use your crafts, which drain your CP. So I have the ability Morale. It's a medium craft. It means it has a medium range around my character. As you can see, the little circle. And it's going to buff both me and Joshua's physical attack. That's why the strength up. His craft is Dual Strike, which is a 2-hit strike. Which, because of the strength up, it almost one-shot. Ta-da!
Let's move out.
Let's move out. Reviving Bomb? Well, that's self-explanatory there. Oh, what a surprise. Another creepy thing. I wish there was an easier way to take care of them. One blow with her S-Cross or S-Break should do the trick for just about any enemy. The catches are CP has to be at least over 100 to pull off one of those moves. So an S-Craft or S-Break is going to be basically like your super move. It's what uses like 100 CP, does a lot of damage, and has other side effects sometimes. When it came to like Trails of Cold Steel, that was literally your bread and butter. You used one of the characters to keep your CP up at max, while the other ones spammed their crafts. You can also use your S-Crafts out of turn order. That's what also makes them really broken, is you could have your really fast character charging people's CP and then spam your slow characters to do lots of heavy damage by using their S-Crafts that way.
Ha! Ha!
I can't do that high-pitched voice without getting nasally, so you're stuck with it. Let's do this. Yeah. And because I don't want to deal with not having magic, I'm going to backtrack and heal. Because I have some low health, I have some low mana, and I do not want to have to use a healing item if I don't have to against spike mice. And moths. So that's the treasure chest we're after, huh? And if you made it this far, I guess the rest is going to be a piece of cake. Seems like we got a little breathing room at least. Let's pay close attention to our battle order this time. There should be a number of ways to get more mileage out of our actions. So here is where combat doesn't get repetitive and you have to actually plan out when you use skills. So each turn, there is going to be random effects that will appear on the turn order that if you use an ability in that turn, a special effect will happen. So since she's acting in that turn, she's going to get healed 10% of her HP. If someone acts in that turn that has the gem, they're going to get extra sepit. Things of that nature can happen. Once it gets into later game, there's even crazier shit. Like you can heal CP, you can stun enemies. In some of the fancier places, you can even get one-hit kills if you hit something with it. And that also applies to the monsters. So if the monsters get a one-hit kill ability on attacks and they attack you, your character could get one-hit killed. Like, that's just part of it. You have to keep a track of the turn order on top of everything. So it's really good to kind of plan out what kind of characters you want your characters to be. Because if you don't, you can end up with some not really good synergy for your teams. Certain healing spells move faster than other spells. So, like your buffs and bonus spells will take less time to actually work. And also, you can cheat by just moving closer to something by using the attack option. It'll auto-path you as close as you can to. It'll give you options. As you can tell, Estelle is kinda slow compared to the other character. We got juicy bones and crisp onions, which we can use for food almost. Yeah, your ingredient things. Basically, these items can be used to make food. And there's different types of food, too. Yeah, and it's actually, if you're doing the completionist run of this type of games, which I'm a sucker for, you'll need to make all of the food, and there's fails of your food that you need to make as well. And there's also extreme versions of the food that you can make. So the superb and failure foods. Oh, shoot. And then I pressed A's too many times. Ah! I was too many to explain. Remember, Estelle, our mission is only to search and retrieve. I'm pretty sure looking inside those boxes doesn't fall under our mission objective. You're no fun at all, Joshua. This has nothing to do with our mission. It's what I like to call good, honest curiosity. You know, we're the only ones down here. We can get away with a teensy-weensy peek, right? If you feel like flunking today's test, then by all means, be my guest.
Did you just say the F word?
Yep, opening one of these boxes could result in an automatic fail to both of us. If this were a real job, the contents of those boxes would belong to the client. And as long as they were nothing illegal, we would have no right to open them.
I know you're right, Joshua, but I just can't help myself.
If you absolutely need to know what's inside, why don't we ask Miss Sarah when we get back? But now we need to focus on getting out of here.
All right, all right.
Think. Files. Yes. First safety save. Good work, you two. As a rule of training, I'm going to need to confirm the items in your possession. Yep, they're the real deal, all right. And I don't see any evidence of tampering either.
That was a close one.
I figured she'd try and set us up like that. Congratulations on both of you you have successfully passed your qualification test.
You really didn't think something like as simple would be a problem for us, did you? So sure. What's in those boxes you had us get?
That's for me to know and you to find out after your training is finished. That's enough chit-chat for now. Let's get back to work. You two still have some things left to do.
Seriously? But didn't you just say we passed the test?
You still have to learn about how to report the results of your work. I'm aware that you both are tired, but this is no time to shirk your duties. Let's get back to the guild.
When is this day going to be over? Oh well, no sense of giving up when the finish line's in sight.
Agreed. Seems like we're within reaching the distance of our goal. Your final training is how to report to the guild. Whenever you finish a job, it is your duty to report the results to the guild. Reporting how you resolved the situation and the steps you took to get there are all part of the job as a bracer. You can report the results to the front desk at each guild branch. As you already know by now, I know is in charge of the Roland branch. In addition, this will be where you are paid for your work. I look forward to seeing great things from both of you. Now that we're here, why don't you both go ahead and report the results of today's training? So what they're getting about how you did something, it means if you go and do certain above and beyond things, or you make sure every, like, I is dotted, T is crossed, you can earn bonuses into your rewards. And those bonuses up your rank as a bracer. and getting to the mat, and you get really good items as you rank up.
Another thing to take note is that depending on how you handle the job, you may, just like I was saying, you may increase or decrease the amount of pay you receive.
So also, this one's a little bit meaner than previously, the other games. So that means if I don't do it well enough, I will get bad pay.
And you will also accumulate points, which are known as bracer points. BP are the indication of your achievements as a bracer. When these points have exceeded a certain value, you will advance in rank as a bracer and will be awarded with a piece of special equipment from the guild.
Sorry, it looked like the sound was being a bit.
The ranks of a junior bracer start at 9 and go all the way up to rank 1. Please set your sights on that first rank and work hard. The amount of mirror and BP you receive will also be recorded in your bracer notebook, so please have a look sometime later on. Now that all there's left to do is finish and finalize your training. Let's head back upstairs, shall we? I'll talk to you later, Aina, and sorry about putting more work on your plate today than usual. Don't worry about it. Training new bracers is important for the future of the guild. I fully intend to work these two to the bone in any case. To the bone? And knowing Shara, it'll involve the whip. Let me say it again. Good work, you two. And you've now officially completed the entire training course. From now on, you will be learning from your own real-world experience. Well then. She holds out the small boxes. Aren't the boxes the ones? In the answer to your question, yes, these are the boxes retrieved here during today's test. You seemed awfully curious about what's inside, Estelle. Are you saying it's okay if we open them? That's right. Why don't you both have a look and see what's inside? Sweet! Alright, let's have a look. Joshua and Estelle open the boxes. It's the emblem! This crest is! So does it mean that we're... Estelle Bright, Joshua Bright, beginning this day at 1500 hours, you are both hereby appointed as junior bracers within the Bracers Guild. From here on, you will work as members of the Bracers Guild to support the livelihoods of those around you, defend peace, and uphold justice. Congratulations, you two, and welcome into the fold. Did you hear that, Joshua? We've become members of the Bracers Guild! So, I'm a bracer now, huh? I think the realization is only now just beginning to sink in. Come on, Joshua! You should be jumping for joy or running around and screaming at the top of your lungs like this. Look at us now! World, we did it! I was happy until you made my eardrums bleed. I hate to interrupt the celebrations, Estelle, but I need to take off now. I have some backed up work that needs my immediate attention. We understand. We've been spending a lot of extra hours working with us during the busy time for the guild. Before you head out, Shara, I just want to say thanks. Likewise, I appreciate all the trouble you've gone through for us, Shara. Don't mention it. Training new recruits is one of the Bracer's many duties. Believe it or not, I was once in your shoes long ago when your father, Cassius, trained me. So that's why you have so much respect for my dad, huh? There's actually much more to it than that, but I'll save that conversation for another day. As for the both of you, work hard to become full-fledged bracers early so you can help guide those new recruits who come after yourselves. And in time, I hope to see you both become respectable bracers like your father. Anyway, I'll leave you with that thought. I just don't get it. Get what? This is Sherazard, aka the Silver Streak, one of the most skilled young bracers we're talking about. So why is it that she holds Dad in such high esteem? He just seems like nothing more than a no-good middle-aged man who's always out doing who knows what instead of being a father. A no-good middle-aged man, huh? From your viewpoint, it doesn't come as a surprise that you would see him in such fashion. Huh?
Never mind. Let's hurry and head home. We should let Dad know that we qualified as junior bracers.
Right!
Hi there, Estelle and Joshua.
Hi, Ridge!
Looks like your training isn't over, is it? I'm humbled to know that you are the youngest ever to pass the bracers exam. I look forward to working with you in some capacity. Ourselves as well. We'll have to get back to work now. If there's something you don't understand, give me a holler.
Hey! Hurry up! Come on! Wait for me, Luke! Huh? Oh, it's you two. Oh, great, it's Estelle. Hi there, Joshua. Okay, you little twerp. What's going with... Oh, great, it's Estelle remark.
And what's in the big hurry? How about telling us where you're headed?
You're not thinking about wandering out of town, are you? The roads are full of monsters, I hope you know. You're such a pest, Estelle. Don't you know there's no room for girls sticking their big fat noses in boy business? Quit acting like you're a bracer, you wannabe. Shh. How wrong you are, Luke. How incredibly wrong. You're more wrong than a fool who thinks that there's better tasting milk in Liberal than that milk that comes from the Pezel farm. What? No way. You're full of it, Estelle. In fact, just a few minutes ago, we qualified to be real bracers. You hear that? What I'm saying? Real bracers.
More like bracers in training, really, but don't you think you should be... don't think you should be getting on your high horse just yet, so... Now, your high pony, on the other hand...
Quit being a killjoy. Wow. You two are great. I'm so happy for both of you. Oh, Pat, you're such a good boy. Unlike some smart aleck and cynical brat you call a friend. This isn't fair. I was supposed to become a bracer first. I can't accept that Joshua became a bracer before me. But getting passed by the likes of Estelle, I can accept that Joshua became a bracer before me. But getting passed by the likes of Estelle? What's the likes of Estelle supposed to mean? Just so you know, you can't even be a bracer until you're 16 years old. Get it? Only mature people allowed. And that means no little kids who are still going to Sunday school.
I don't know how I should put this, Estelle, but Sunday school is dying to have you back.
You better watch out, Estelle. I'm going to train in my secret base, and before you know it, I'm going to be a bracer too. Come on, Pat, let's go.
All right, I'm coming.
See you later, Estelle. Bye, Joshua.
That boy Luke. He's always trying to pick a fight with me. I wonder if he just plain hates me or something.
That's not the Estelle voice I had been using for Estelle.
Oh, wow.
But that Estelle voice hurts my voice.
Rather the opposite. I think it's the exact opposite.
What do you mean by that?
Don't worry about it. Or don't worry about it. It's just a boy thing. At any rate, what do you think Luke meant when he said secret base? I don't know why, but somehow it makes me a bit curious.
I know exactly what you mean. A secret base sounds really intriguing. The pure heart of a young child can be inspiring at times.
That's not really what I meant by curious. Hi there, Estelle and Joshua. Did you manage to come bracers?
You bet we did.
Maybe I should have you start calling me Hyper Bracer Estelle from now on. By the way, Mr. Rin, did the Libero news come in? Yeah, it just came in a little afternoon.
Don't brush me off like that, you two.
Oh, whatever. I'll take one copy then. That comes to 100 mira, please. I know Dad always buys a copy of this magazine, but does it really sell that well? Sure does. Libero News has an excellent reporter and camerawoman who have done great job reporting the latest and the most reliable news. They're even supposed to be running a story on Queen Alicia's birthday celebration. One more thing before you go. This gift is my way of saying congratulations. A free sample of what I received with my shipment of goods. But don't hold the free part against me. It's a recipe book, isn't it? You got it. When you get hurt fighting, if you just limit yourself to healing bombs all the time, you're going to get cut pretty deep in your wallets. This is where the recipe book comes into play. You can eat food to recover your strength. Yeah, so basically we just got the ability to make our own food. Assuming you have all the ingredients, you can eat something new. Let me try this out. Go ahead and eat this cookie, Estelle.
Well, if I have made it my personal rule to never turn down sweets.
So if you eat food for the first time in this game, you're going to get it. The other ones you had to actually get the actual specific recipes. You couldn't just learn it from eating it. As you're traveling about, you should eat whatever food you come across. That way you haven't had the opportunity before. Sounds pretty convenient.
It's not that I don't like cooking and all. It's just that I never seem to get any better. I'd sure love to be able to increase my repertoire and really shock my dad's taste buds for once in his life.
That's the spirit. And in passing, if you're in need of ingredients, I'll be delighted at your service to your cooking needs.
So you really know how to solicit your customers, Mr. Renan.
Thank you. We'll put the recipe book to good use. So it has to be specifically recommended dishes or to-go meals. Got it. So there's two types of meals. Sit-down meals, which must be eaten on a spot, and to-go meals, which can be carried around as items. Sit-down meals cannot be carried as items. Okay. Should I risk money and buy food items? Actually, why am I holding on to any? I can get more later. A to-go heal heals 80 HP. Oh, that's a lot of food. Actually, I'm curious. Hi there, Estelle and Joshua.
Good afternoon, Mr. Elgo.
Elgar? Elgar? Good afternoon, sir. Correct me if I'm wrong, but today is the last day of your training, isn't it? I seem to remember you saying something about that last time I had you run in the store. Yes, that's right. How'd your training go? The emblem on your chest means I shouldn't have expected anything less from Cassius kids. But we're still bracers in training. I see, but well, I knew you were going to have to give up your part-time job here sooner or later. Yes, I'm really sorry about that. Don't sweat it. I knew it'd happen eventually when I hired you on. It's a shame, though. There's hardly anyone out there with as good an eye for weapons as you. But that's the path you've chosen. So get out there and show us what you're made of. So these are upgrade weapons that are only really upgrades by like 2 or 3 point, or 4 or 5, 3 or 4 points. Defense increase by 5. And then nothing's really worth it.
Stella, listen to this. I finally became a bracer.
Oh, goodness. Is that true? And Joshua, too? Yes, ma'am, that's right. Congratulations on both of you. You did wonderfully. But one thing, Estelle, you shouldn't be proud that just because you became a bracer. This is just the starting point.
I understand that.
You two will have a lot of experience. You can be proud of the fact in the years. But enough about my feelings. Please work hard and good luck. In previous games, there's occasionally things to find by searching things. So, being a pest pays off. Uni should be back by any time now, but that's odd of her to not be home by now. As well, Joshua, if you see my Uni, could you tell her to come home? She's never broken Q for her before, but I'm worried that because she's still just a little girl. Oh, what place and whatever's really that important? Of course it is. It could be a memory of a lifetime. I'm getting really tired of reading the voices. I'm dying. Full death. Just full death. Hotel Roland. Beautiful sound always plays. What's wrong, Estelle? You something on your mind?
Nothing really. How about we climb to the observation deck?
Sure, I guess. I take it Estelle might have a heights thing. So that's not a route I can go.
It's such a warm day, isn't it? Yeah.
The cat sounds are always good.
Claire. Estelle, Joshua. The two of you really coming racers? What? How did you know? That's because working in the media is my future goal. I'm going to join the Barrel News and serve as a become a reporter. I don't take my information lightly either. Oh, sure thing.
My gut feeling says that the two of you are going to be in the tabloids.
Well, thanks.
Isn't it romantic? You two lovers are bracers who stand up for justice. I just have this feeling that a juicy drama is just about to unfold.
Lovers?
Joshua and I aren't lovers, we're family. You really don't understand anything, Estelle. Joshua's adopted, and things could go either way in the future, right? Plus, leaving it would just surely please. That would surely please the readers. Readers. Anyway, I look forward to the both of you in one way or another. Is there a to-go meal or? Yes, wholesome pasta. That'd be. I'm gonna yell at my wife for putting some in. Yeah. Also, you get bonuses that you for people's final weapons based on things you've collected. So sometimes you need to have the full collection of that Carnelia book series to get that final weapon. I don't know if it is for this one, but that's how it is for other games, and hence why I am literally not letting a single thing go. So I've gotten a book, I've gotten a recipe, I have one of the Liberal articles. Okay, so those two are talking about a date. Thanks. So you're way too proud of yourself. Why do you always have to ruin the moment, Joshua? I should be happy because I earned this. You should at least let me bask in the glory for a minute. Sometimes you can just be so... But Estelle, now you've embraced her, you're going to have to get over your little problem with horrible arts. Man, you too? Why do you have to go and spoil the day by saying things like that? If you don't have any other business needs, don't forget to stop by. So, I've been in every location. There's a secret base that some child has spoken about. This is the only place left. so, you seem rather cheerful today. Something wonderful happened in your life? Yes, I guess you could say that. Joyous occasion and a wonderful thing, but at times go well. We should also gird our loins for the trials that lie ahead. Oh, goddess Ideo, of the firmament, please guide these unseasoned youth. Alright, so place explored, returning to father. Ooh, I can just pester the mayor? That's a thing? Anything of note to take from the mayor? I think I'm just going to stick to the playable party members having voices. Because my voice is kind of dying. Mayor Klaus. So far, being a pest has not paid off. So it seems like the whole continent is held together by airships. That one is one that reminds us they have to go back to our parent. Oh, Aina. Oh, hi, Aina. Oh, hi, Aina. Is something wrong? You seem in quite a hurry. Well, we have a bit of a problem. Is your father at home today? Yes, he is. He said something about having have sort of a bunch of documents. Well, what's going on? You know Luke and Pat, right? Sure we do. Sure we do. In fact, we saw them not too long ago. What's wrong? Are they in some sort of trouble? I don't know how to say this, but I just heard from Uni that Luke and Pat ran off to the tower that lies in the northern outskirts of Roland. The Tower of Esmalus? Isn't that tower supposed to be breeding ground for monsters? That's what they say. Unfortunately, at the moment, Scheherazade is out on other bracer dudes, and I want to ask your father to bring the boys home safely. What are you talking about? There's no time for that. Josh and I will go after them and bring them back. I don't know if that's just good. You guys just got. I don't know if that's such a good idea. You two just got qualified to be bracers today. With all due respect, I believe that Estelle's judgment is correct on the situation. If the two of us hurry, we may even be able to catch the boys before they even reach the tower. I understand. I will take responsibility for whatever happens. As an emergency request from the Bracers Guild, I ask that you lose no time in bringing home the children safely. Roger that. Understood. Northwest Gate. Alright. I have been streaming for about 2 hours now, and my voice seriously hurts. So I think I'm going to call that a save point. And say goodnight to all of y'all. I hope you all had a very fun stream. You know I did. And I hope you all have a wonderful night. Take care, cats.